Hello friend, today we are going to discuss about forum change management. In this session we are going to discuss about what is forum change and how we do the recording of forum change and what are the planned, unplanned and abnormal changes and what are the initial flow control or initial production control or supply control or initial flow management and what are the initial flow control periods and how much quantity we need to submit during the initial flow controls. Now we are going to discuss about what is forum. Forum is man, machine, material and method. And what is change? Change is actually something become different from standard. Means something different from standard is a change. Management to manage the situation, to control the situations. And change management is a systematic approach to dealing with change. Forum change management is a systematic approach to dealing with the forum change, means changes in man, machine, material and method. Now, change management is two types, that is planned, unplanned and abnormal changes. Now, planned changes is new operator, new machine, new material and new inspection or new method, means new machine, new material, new man and new method. Unplanned changes is sudden changes in operator or operator seek or machine breakdowns and material shortage or BOP and bin or trolleys fallen down and method is packing or storage, means packaging or storage method changes or inspection method changes. Now plan changes is any changes with prior information is a plan changes or expected changes. For example, man or operator is on leave with information, and unplanned changes is any changes without prior information. That is, a man or operator on leave with without information is unplanned. And abnormal condition is deviation from what is normal or usual, means typically in a way that is undesirable, like man under skill level person deputed, means in case of man under skill level persons deputed in the process, that is abnormal conditions. Instrument fallen down. Now change management is, there is three types of recording. First is retroactive, that is part produced before breakdown, means retroactive parts are produced before breakdown are not checked. We need to check before breakdown parts also. In setup approval, parts produced after correction of tools that need to checked as per their operation standard or process standard. Next is containment check or suspected check, that is part produced after correction till next setup or till next shift. We need to check all the part after correction till the end of the shift. Next is what are the changes at tier 2, means changes in forum as tier 2. If no information to tier 1, then final output at your customer in will be problem, means your customer will be in problem because of there is no information to tier 2 to tier 1 and tier 1 to MSIL or your customer, that your customer will be in problem, means they are facing the problem or fitments or their problem of their materials problem or their performance, like that. Now, next is when to inform the customer for changes. Means if you are sub vendors, means you are the tier 2, then uh, sub suppliers shall have document system for forum change management and it should broadly cover the following like changes in design, changes in material, changes capacity increases or partial or whole of any process is outsourced, changes of your sub-supplier or changes of raw material supplier, changes of location, own plant or sub-supplier plant, changes in inspection method, changes of die, mold, jig and changes in process sequence means any changes in engineering changes or process changes or location changes or sub-vendor changes. We need to inform the customer for changes and step for change approval. When implementing forum changes, following points should be considered. Means peer approval should be taken from customer before implementing any changes. Next is input should be taken from customer for sample testing, regulatory requirement, etc. And a special checkpoint should be implemented for verifying the quality of affected product due to change point. Next is all prescription reports and relevant documents should be submitted to customer by mentioning the change points, and sub-suppliers should have a proper identification system to identify and trace the part manufacturing after change points, and it should be ensured that part manufactured before change point implemented and after change point implementation do not get mixed up. Now before supply the change part, a communication should be given to customer, and first lot of parts supplied after change point implementation should be sent with proper identification, and a system for forum change management should be defined so that no unauthorized changes are implemented, and sub-suppliers should capture not only the planned but the unplanned changes also in case of man, machine, material and method, and sub-suppliers should check for all regulatory requirements. Now evaluation of parts and judgment by customer means change request along with the report and sample should be submitted to customer by sub-vendor, and sub-vendor should validate the changes himself first, and he should make decision regarding the changes and as approve or not approve on the changes request after consideration and carrying out evaluation at consider necessary. Customers should also indicate whether first production part should be submitted or the supply of the part can be started after approval by customer. For changes in MARUA and functional item of the parts, evaluation of parts submitted through change approval request may be done in following two stages. First is initial sample evaluation, second is peak production trial evaluation like PPVT. Now these formats for the change management like change approval request, and next is forum control register, forum recording register, forum control standard and forum monthly summary sheet. Now this is the forum change matrices means in case of man, if man is sub means man is absent, and means if main sub operator not available and operator of un under skill deputed means training to be given under skill operator about machine and product, then we need to perform the setup approval, retroactive and as well as containment actions. For this setup approval, inspection carried out as per operation standard or as per process control standard, and in case of retroactive, part to be checked as per sampling plan for critical category from current win or current lot to last setup report until not found okay, and recording will be done for 5 parts and visually will be checked for 100%, And in case of sampling 5 parts, if any NG found, then 100% material will be checked. And in case of suspected or containment action, complete lot will be checked as per sampling plan, and recording will be done for 5 parts and visually will be checked for 100%. In case of recording of 5 parts, if any part found NG, means in sampling inspection, if any part found NG, then 100% inspection will be done. Now in case of power failure, the quality of the product will be deteriorate. Material should be verified at the supplier end or manufacturing end. Now, we does not need for setup approval, does not need the retrospective, but we do this containment or suspected parts. Now, for suspected, we need to check the 5 parts for dimension as per sampling plan, and 100% inspection will be done. In case of sampling inspection, if any NG found, then 100% inspection will be carried out. And in case of tool or machine breakdown, we need to do the retroactive tool is breakdown. Now we need to check the retroactive, means from the current bin or current load to the before till the setup approval. We need to check all the parts. If any parts, all the part by visually 100% and dimensionally 5 parts, 5 part recording, and as per sampling plan the dimension inspection will be done and 5 part recording will be done. And if any part found NG, then all parts should be checked 100%. And in case of the suspected product, 100% inspection, visually inspection carried out, and dimension as per sampling plan, and recording will be for 5 parts. And in case of setup approval will be as per your operation standard or process control standard. Now, defect due to forum change management. If any defect generated due to forum change at tier 2 supplier, that can affect the assembly at tier 1 will be almost 600 parts, and vehicle assembly at your customer is almost 12,000 parts. Means that is x become 1000x, means x is the tier 2 and 10x the uh, tier 1, and 100x is tier 1 and 1000x is at your customer. In that is the defects, that is the cost of poor quality. That cost will be 1000 times than the tier 2. Now, next is the approval of first production part and start of mass production. That definition of first production part, FPP lot, a lot of such parts which are manufactured for the very first time after sample approval using actual mass production, and condition for which products produced for the first time after the implementation of one or more of the following changes. First is design or engineering changes, and second is new part material changes, process layout or control parameter changes, jig tool fixture machinery changes, sub-vendor changes, plant location changes. These are the changes we need to prepare the first production part, FPP. Now, next is the FPP tag. These are the first production part tag, in which new source and the process change, engineering change, new source and sub-vendor source are mentioned. Now, next is the quality special gate for the 200% inspection. That is for the suspected lot. Means 200% inspection for the suspected lot. Now, next is the initial production tag for vendor for internal use. This is IPP tag. This tag will be applicable for the new part. That's in case of new part, orange color, and in case of the engineering changes, blue color, and in case of process changes, that is red color tag will be used. Now, next is initial production control. These tags are allowed for the new product development parts. Means in new product development, if any engineering changes is new part is that is orange, and if during the new product development, if any engineering changes is given by the customer, then we need to use the blue color tag, and in case of process changes during new product development, that we need to use red tag color. Now, next is initial production control. Initial flow control or initial production control or initial supply control is applicable for newly developed parts or part developed after engineering changes or after process changes. Now, initial production control period for newly developed parts 3 months or 3000 parts, which is later. For ECN or PCN 1000 or 1 month part, which is later. Now, initial production control, these are the exit or termination sheets. Customer complaint target is 0. Defect at IPC station is also 0. In process rejection, the target is 100 ppm. CPK values is 1.67 minimum. And results of countermeasure taken against problem during the production preparation, and results of countermeasure taken against the problem during the initial control period, and process audit results. These are the things we need to consider if the in month 1, month 2 and month 3 for 3 months in case of new product development, and for the engineering changes or ECN or PCN, that is 1 month or 1000 product. Now, initial control period termination condition, that 0 exit, 0 customer complaint, 0 firewall or IPC station defect, in-house rejection ppm less than and target that is 100 ppm, process capabilities greater or equal to 1.67, and effectiveness implementation of countermeasure for productive preparation issues, and effectiveness implementation of countermeasure for issues observed during initial production control. Now, these are the related to forum change management. If contents are good, please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.